I finally got the haircut. Hello, Jacksonites, and change. I really need to stop fucking doing this. Change of plans. If any of you saw yesterday, I tried to do my Ultraman review yesterday, but my wife showed up and I decided to shut it down because we just had a lot of shit to do yesterday. So I took the review down, and I've decided to do something that I was very much so inspired by Boogie2988 of all people. Who the hell is texting me? Yes, I did, Shawnee boy. I shaved my head finally, and I also shaved my face, so I feel like 10 pounds lighter. So I was inspired by Boogie2988 to do a end of the year kind of half personal vlog type update future plans video all rolled into one. 2020 was a very tumultuous year for a lot of people. And just in general, it was a very tumultuous year for the entire world. We had a lot of controversial and very, in other words, catastrophic shit happened to us over the course of this year. And it seems like everybody has had shit happen to them over the course of 2020. And myself included. But just to give a rundown on the shit that we had, of course, we had the outbreak of the coronavirus, which wasn't cool, obviously. The coronavirus truly has knocked us for a loop and has made us really change our ways. Kind of some for the better, but in many ways, it's kind of left us with our pants down and without any way to pull our pants back up. And with the advent of the coronavirus, we had a whole bunch of shit change. We had, it's almost like another Great Depression. Maybe a quarter or a third of the entire country is out of work and struggling to make ends meet. A lot of businesses and fast food joints are shutting down because they're just unable to do work because of COVID. Hang on one sec. People are losing their jobs left and right. People are homeless. People are having to be forced to stay at home and completely rearrange how they do business and how they just live their lives because of the coronavirus. And I'm not the first person to talk about this stuff, surely, nor will I be the last. But if I'm going to be honest, I don't really think 2020, for the most part, has been that bad for myself personally. Yeah, like Sean says, it's been a downer of a year, but there have been some good things that came out of that, which I will talk about near the end of this video. I don't know how long this video is going to be, but just near the end, I will be talking about some good stuff. But I want to talk about some bad stuff just to get out of my head, because I always like to believe I like to be very straightforward and honest with my audience, especially with movies. Duh, I don't really sugarcoat my opinions. 2020, for the first half of it, and even the last couple months of 2019, were very rough for me and my wife personally. I'm not going to get into too much detail, but I will give you guys some details. So, the last couple months of 2019, the last couple months of 2020 were very rough for me because I lost my job at Papa Murphy's. So I lost my one source of income. The hair just went away. I was tired of it, always looking like shit, looking so unkempt and messy. I just said, fuck this. Thankfully, one of my Christmas gifts that my wife got me this year was my very own electric hair clipper. So now I don't have to borrow my father-in-law's, who bitches about it every single time I have to borrow it. Speaking of which, so I lost my job at Papa Murphy's, and I was struggling to look for work because Shawnee Boy can probably relate to this the most because he has an actual job outside of YouTube. Job hunting fucking sucks. I would definitely describe job hunting as shut up, Jackie Boy. I would definitely classify job hunting as cruel and unusual punishment. It's so boring and tedious and well, kind of unnerving sometimes, annoying and aggravating, and it's just miserable. Job hunting fucking sucks. But I had to do some job hunting, and for the last few months of 2019, I had part-time work at a Subway, which I didn't really mind that much, but it was just like Murphy's. I wasn't working a whole lot of hours, and I wasn't making that much money. And I was like, this isn't good enough. I need to make more money. So I ended up moving on to, hang on, god damn it. Well, I mean, I'd like to. So the last couple months of 2020 or not, of 2019, I was working for a landscaping company. I left Subway because I thought things would be really good working at that landscaping job. And I was miserable. That was the worst fucking job I have ever had in my goddamn life. I'm not gonna like give full details on why I was so miserable because they may be viewed as being kind of controversial. But that landscaping job was the worst fucking job I have ever had in my goddamn motherfucking life. There were mornings working that job where I legitimately wanted to take one of my knives and jam it into my leg. I was so fucking miserable. I wanted to jam it in my leg and call and say, hey, I got attacked and I was stabbed in the leg. I can't come into work. And it wasn't even proper landscaping work. I was hauling 150 pounds of concrete left and right. in pouring ass rain and freezing cold temperatures, getting soaked to the bone within 10 minutes, working. Here was my schedule. I would wake up at 3 o'clock in the morning, have breakfast, get ready, leave the house at 4 o'clock in the morning. Show up at the job site itself and clock in at 5. Set up the trucks and then leave to the actual job site around 5:30, 5:45. Show up at the job site, which usually took about an hour or so. So I would sleep during that time. Start working around 6 or 6:30 and work for 10 hours. No, 7:30, but still 10 hours with only one break for lunch for an hour halfway through the day. 10 fucking hours. And a lot of times these job sites took place in Hillsboro or St. Helens in Portland. So on our way back, we would have to go through Portland traffic, which is miserable. And I was doing all this hard work, working with a whole bunch of people that didn't even fucking speak English. Not trying to be racist. I'm not racist. I have no issue with Latinos or African Americans or anybody. But I have an issue when I'm trying to do hard work and working with a bunch of people who I know don't like me and they don't even speak English. Trying to work with people who don't speak your language is miserable. And my asshole supervisor, who was white, knew how to speak English, but he would speak to me in Spanish half the time, and I would tell him, dude, I don't know what you're saying. And he would say to me, well, maybe you should learn how to speak Spanish. Sure, bruh. I'm working 60 hours a week on 20 hours of sleep. Yeah, I have time to learn Spanish. That was the biggest, aside from the fact that all my coworkers did not speak English, the biggest issue that I had with that job was the fact that I was getting no sleep. We worked 4 days out of the week and we had 3 days off. But during those 4 days, I was working 60 hours on maybe 20 hours of sleep. I was miserable. I was a zombie. I was straight up just a zombie. I became so sleep deprived that once Thursday night rolled around, which was my last day to work, when I got home, I showered, I had something to eat, and I just slipped into a coma. I would go to bed at the worst of days, I would leave the house at 4. I wouldn't be back until the latest. I believe I was out until 9 p.m. and I still had to wake up at 3 o'clock in the morning. So I showered, I ate, and I just went to bed. I was literally having nightmares about that job. It was fucking horrible. And I became so sleep deprived working that job when on Thursday nights, I would literally just slip into a coma. I would go to bed at around 10 o'clock. I wouldn't get up until noon. Yeah, that job, it took a toll on me. And that's part of the reason why I stopped doing YouTube videos for the last few months of 2019. But that job, it was just killing me. It was draining me dry. I had no time for nothing. I didn't even have much time for my wife, who was staying at home. Who would just stay at home because she was unemployed at the time. She would just stay home and do nothing. And be home all by herself 13, 14, 15 hours a day doing nothing. Not going to happen, Ryan. Godzilla vs. King Ghidorah is a bad Godzilla movie. Fuck off. Although I have some Godzilla-related news to show you all, but I'll show that later. So yeah, that job, it just killed me. I was so desperate to get out of that job. I was applying everywhere, left and right, that I could find. For the record, the job finding app, no, I don't ship Mothzilla. The job finding app Indeed is fucking garbage. The last straw came for me when I literally had to lie to my supervisor and say I need to go to the hospital so that I could go to a job interview that I was so desperate to get. Literally on my way home from the interview, they emailed me saying, "You're not hired. We're not interested." Wasting the last little bit of money that I had. And it's because of that I ended up just getting fired from Pacific Landscape. But I really wasn't mad about that because that job was just killing me. I was so desperate to get out of it. I was just willing to take an L. But for a long while after that, me and the wife were broke. Totally broke. Neither of us had a job. We would just stay at home and do nothing for a while. I made the last check that I got from that landscaping job stretch as long as I could, but once that dried up, she and I just had nothing, which is why last year's Christmas really wasn't all that good. And I was definitely not doing no YouTube videos at this point because I really didn't care. So me and my wife ended up having to move in with her parents' place because where we were living at with my grandparents at the time, it was nice, but around that area there was nothing for us to apply for. There was no jobs for us to apply for. There was no work. There was no opportunities. There was nothing. Whereas where we're living now, there's shops and stores and restaurants all around us galore. So had pretty much just a big giant smorgasbord looking for work. So I decided to try to convince my in-laws to let us move in, and they did. So we moved in, and that was pretty much almost immediately after that when things started to go really bad. At the beginning of 2020, I was job hunting and looking around and looking for work, and eventually I did manage to snag some work at Five Guys Burgers and Fries. I was pretty much just a bus boy. I would clean off tables. I would sweep up peanut shells. I would occasionally do dishes. I would take out trash. And it wasn't necessarily a bad job, but still it wasn't giving us the money that I wanted to have. And it was also, I don't really know if I should be saying this on the internet. Um, um, my wife ended up getting pregnant, and because we were both still jobless, and we were still broke, and we were living with my in-laws, that we just could not afford to keep it, so we ended up having to um, have an abortion. And so yeah, that was had to do that in February, a week before Valentine's Day. It was actually no, it was a few days after Valentine's Day. It was actually on one of our anniversaries, one of our monthly anniversaries. So yeah, we had to get rid of our first child, which wasn't cool, wasn't fun. Um, I hope none of you guys, all the dudes that are watching my videos, hope you guys never ever have to go through something like that. It's really not fun. It's not cool. It's not all that's cracked up to be. There are those fucking idiots out there who think abortion is just a form of birth control, and those people have problems. Um, and it wasn't due to just us being stupid. Um, it was an oops, but we still just could not afford to keep the child, so we had to end up getting rid of it. And I mean, it hurt me. Obviously, I'm getting choked up here, but it hurt Meadow a lot. I really didn't want to do it, but I just saw no choice because I'm not going to be. I told her I was not going to be raising a child in under somebody else's roof, being broke and jobless. Um, so that's why we got rid of it. It's not because I didn't want to be a dad. It's just because I didn't want to raise a child and be have no money and no job and be miserable. So, um, so that happened. Um, it wasn't pretty, and we're probably never really will get over it. But after that was I got my job at Walmart. Oh, fucking hell. Not long after that, I decided to leave Five Guys because my mother-in-law also works at Walmart, and um, she said that there were positions at Walmart available, and so I went there at I think it was like 8:30 at night, where I had an interview. Within a half hour, I had the job, and I told Five Guys to fuck off. I started working at Walmart, and that's when the money started rolling in. But a week after that was when COVID hit. I literally missed COVID by the skid of my fucking ass. If I was still working at Five Guys and the coronavirus really hit, I would have lost my job, and me and Meta would have been back at square one. So, um, um, so I kept at it. I kept working Walmart. Of course, I still do work there, but living with my in-laws, working at Walmart, making the most money that I had ever made in my entire life, and for the first time making a consistent 40-hour schedule. I still feel like my sleeping schedule's been fucked up because of that landscaping job, but it's not nearly as bad. But the stimulus check came, and I also got my first real big check the day the stimulus check came. And that was when the opportunity for me and my wife to move out arose. We got this current place all set up. We put down the deposit, and we just waited. We waited and waited and waited and waited. We have a whiteboard on our wall next to our door. Had that same one in relatively the same spot in our bedroom at my in-laws, and we would just literally count down the days. It was from day 40 days before we found when we figured out when we could move out. We just count down the days. The reason why we were counting down the days is because things between me and my father-in-law were not good. I'm not going to get into all the details, but because me and Meadow had to have the abortion, he claims to be a anti-abortion dude. So he was jumping down our throats like crazy, and him and I just do not get along at all. And there were a couple times where he and I were about to get physical. It was not a good living situation, and I can honestly and strongly attest to the fact that the 6 months that we lived there were the roughest 6 months of my entire life. There were a few times when I would go to work where I did not want to come home. I was that miserable. That's another reason why I just was not doing YouTube videos for a long time. I just didn't. He would. My father-in-law would not let me because he said that you're too loud. You stay on those too long, and yada 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 yada. It's pointless and stupid and dumb. Just talking about that gets me mad. So the day finally came when we moved in, and that was when things really started to go good for us. We got our TV in our living room hooked up. I got my movie collection hooked up over here. We got a free couch, this free chair, which I need to show you guys my movie collection pretty soon. I just need to get the spines made. And I just kept working this job, and I'm actually now an assistant team lead, so I have some authority at my job. Still love it. I enjoy my job a lot. And it's just when we moved out, when things really started to just turn out for the better for us. But unfortunately, because of the abortion, Meadow was having a lot of guilt issues and a lot of anxiety and panic attacks. So we finally decided to do something that I never thought in a million years that I would ever do. Me and Meadow are expecting our first child. Second child, but first one that we are going to be keeping. She is 16 weeks and 3 days pregnant. My entire family knows. And it's a boy, will be due June 13th, 3 days before my wife's birthday. I'm going to be a dad. His name is Roman Lee Jackson. And I don't give a shit what Meadow says. Named after Gladiator with Russell Crowe, Roman, and Bruce Lee Jackson. Meadow needs to get on camera. I just have to convince her. She's very introverted and she's very socially awkward. But I think I can convince her to get on camera, but I make no promises for that. And now that we're expecting our first child, would you freaking stay? Okay, I'm just gonna put you down there. Now that we're expecting our first child, she's been so much happier, and I've been happier. We're both excited to be parents. I definitely want to be. Baby's first words need to be "Shut up, Sean." No, I think it's going to be your flaring ass nostrils. For reasons I might explain at a later date. So yeah, that happened. So as far as YouTube goes, well, let me finish up this thought. So yes, 2020 has been a very tumultuous year, and it's been a very controversial year. But I only think it's been half bad. Things have been looking very much so up for me and Meadow ever since we moved into our apartment. I have my very first current generation video game console now. I have an Xbox One that has Netflix and Tubi and YouTube and soon to be HBO Max, because if the whole Godzilla versus Kong debacle thing ever gets resolved, maybe I'll watch it on that. Have a couple video games. I've played the first 4 Halo games, which are all really good. And I have Doom 2016, which is my all-time favorite video game. There's a couple more games that I want to get later in the future, one of them being Doom Eternal. Hey, I'm now team Xbox. The Sony and the PlayStation shit just does not really appeal to me anymore. And also, The Last of Us 2, in my opinion, is the worst game of 2020. And now that Bethesda is owned by Xbox, now Xbox owns both the Doomslayer and Master Chief, so I'm Team Xbox now. Those are my two favorite video game franchises. The first Last of Us game, though, is a phenomenal game, but The Last of Us 2 is a POS. So as far as YouTube goes, there's a lot of projects that I want to do. I also realize there's a lot of unfinished business that I kind of have to do with a lot of my current or a lot of my older YouTube stuff. So I was scrolling through my list of videos on my phone. So here's a lot of ideas that I have for YouTube in the coming months. Now, not all of this is going to be done in this order, but these are all videos that I would like to do in the coming months. I want to review all 3 animated Resident Evil movies. I reviewed the Paul W.S. Anderson Resident Evil movies. I'll get to that. I will get to that. The Paul W.S. Anderson Resident Evil movies, reviewed all 6 of those. But I want to review the 3 animated Resident Evil movies, and also after that, do a ranking video of all 9 Resident Evil movies. I know they're not all in the same continuity, but they're all under the Resident Evil name, so I just want to review that because I think it'll be a much more interesting video. 2019 also brought us the release of, I think it was 2019, Ip Man 4. Now, for those of you who don't know, I am a gigantic Donnie Yen fan, and I'm a huge martial arts movie fan, and I'm a huge fan of the Ip Man films. So, I think it was 2019 that brought us both Ip Man 4 and Master Z. I think it was Master Z Legacy. It was like a spinoff of the Ip Man movies. So, I'd like to review all 5 of those movies, the 4 Ip Man films and that spinoff, and maybe do a ranking of all 5 of those movies. Definitely have Jeff from Unigamer661 review those with that. Also, I think it was last year, or maybe it was like late 2018, where we saw a revival of the Karate Kid franchise. Now, I am a Karate Kid fan, not a huge fan, but I do like the Karate Kid movies. Even though I've only seen the first 3, we got the first season of Cobra Kai. The first 2 seasons were on YouTube Red, and then the series moved over to Netflix, and I think season 3 just debuted. So I want to do a review of every single installment of the Karate Kid series. I want to review the first 3 movies, the next Karate Kid, the Karate Kid remake, and all 3 seasons of Cobra Kai. And I want to do a ranking series, or I want to do a ranking video of all of those in one video as well. I also want to review the Lethal Weapon TV series because I've reviewed the movies. I may as well talk about the show. Okay, season 3 drops on Friday. Okay. So I want to review the show, and I also want to rank the movies and all 3 seasons of the show in one video as well. I would also like to review the 7th Tremors movie and rank the Tremors franchise. I really need to get my brother over here sometime soon so that we can watch and review the 7th Tremors movie. And maybe he can also join me for ranking the series as well. Coming later today, this is a definitive thing. I am ranking the Terminator franchise. Now that I've seen all 6 movies and I've seen Terminator: The Sarah Connor Chronicles, I'm going to finally crack down and rank the Terminator series. I would also like to watch and review Camp Cretaceous, the brand new Netflix animated Jurassic Park show that takes place during the events of Jurassic World. And I want to review that, or watch and review it when season 2 drops, and review that and rank the Jurassic Park series. Because also, hopefully, next year is when Jurassic World Dominion comes out. Someone tell me in the chat when Jurassic World Dominion is supposed to come out. And now that I'm also a part of the crew that is working on this fan-made Lost Tapes Season 4 project, I would like to rank every single Lost Tapes episode sometime soon. And as far as the two really, Dominion's 2022. Okay, shit. Well, maybe we'll get a third season of Camp Cretaceous by then. But yeah, I want to binge Camp Cretaceous when season 2 drops. And someone tell me when season 2 is going to drop as well, and review that and rank the Jurassic Park series. But as far as the two big franchises that I want to talk about, Super Kaiju Binge and the Ultraman franchise, I've decided to unpause. I'm actually going to delete this video right now. Yeah, okay, that's deleted. So I've decided to unpause Super Kaiju Binge. And I've also decided I'm going to restructure how I'm going to do Super Kaiju Binge. So I'm going to go back on my word, and I'm going to say that I'm going to do Super Kaiju Binge in chunks. I haven't exactly decided on how I'm going to do it, but I'm going to do specific subjects in a group of videos, one chunk at a time. When I resume Super Kaiju Binge, I haven't decided when I'm going to resume Super Kaiju Binge, but I am going to finish off the rest of the show at Godzilla movies. Partially because A, there's a lot of movies in that series I want to talk about, and also B, which is one of my prized possessions. I'm also, one video that I am going to do soon is like just a big Amazon unboxing / what I got for Christmas this year video. Just have some fun. But one of them was something that I never thought that I would get. I do have plans to do videos like that, Ryan. Though I want to save all of that till after Super Kaiju Binge is over. But I got the motherfucking Criterion Godzilla Collection. Thank you, Trish. That's my stepmom. I never fucking thought that I would get this motherfucker. I am so goddamn happy that I got this thing. It is a lot different than I thought it would look like, but god damn, I am so happy. It's a full-on book. It's got like articles and like I need to do a video about this thing because like look at this fucking artwork. It's like a full-on book. It's got like fan-made or not fan-made, but like posters for each movie. For Raids Again. I like this. This is for King Kong versus Godzilla. And now that I can finally fucking watch the Japanese cut of King Kong versus Godzilla. And I think I just might review that as its current or I might review that it now that I can finally watch the Japanese cut, I might review that and put it into Super Kaiju Binge, which Sean, how do you access the Japanese cut of King Kong versus Godzilla? Is it on the disc or is it? I think it's a special feature, isn't it? But yeah, somebody tell me, how do you see that? I'm sure a lot of people will see this as Mothzilla fan art and not them actually fighting. Yeah, some of these posters just look fantastic. This is for Ghidorah, three-headed monster. Oh yeah, that I think Ghidorah kind of looks crappy in this, but this is the Godzilla dance. Oh, it's in a special features disc. Well, you have all these posters for each Godzilla movie, which is cool. I don't think they're all done by the same person. I think they're all done by different people, but okay, yeah, here's all the discs. Godzilla, Raids Again, and King Kong vs. Godzilla. Let's see. Mothra vs. Godzilla, Ghidorah, and Invasion of the Astro Monster. Ebra, Horror of the Deep, Son of Godzilla, and Destroy All Monsters. Godzilla's Revenge, Godzilla versus Hedorah, Gigan and Megalon, and Mechagodzilla and Terra Mechagodzilla. And I guess, is it on the supplements disc? Okay, so yeah, is it on disc 8, the supplements disc, where the Japanese cut is? So yeah, I think I might watch and review King Kong vs. Godzilla Japanese version as its own video. I might actually do that to relaunch Super Kaiju Binge. Okay, it is disc 8. Thank you, Sean. But yeah, I got the motherfucking Criterion Godzilla Collection, and it's been two things that have revitalized me for doing Super Kaiju Binge. One, cleaning house and watching Wikizilla videos on my Xbox has kind of reinvigorated myself. Well, hey, good for them, because Universal are a bunch of fucking assholes when it comes to King Kong. But it was also getting this that has led me to restructure how I'm going to do Super Kaiju Binge. But another restructuring, this might suck, but I'm going to be doing a lot less guest videos for Super Kaiju Binge, like for the rest of Super Kaiju Binge, like Ryan, Sean, and Trev mainly. They only have one guest appearance for the rest of the show series. I may, I'll ask them if they want to have more than one or if they're fine with just having one. I had a conversation with Trev, and he was telling me that he was kind of getting burned down on kaiju movies too, just like I was. So, and also working around other people's schedules, it was really fucking frustrating. So, yeah, I'm going to having a lot less guest videos on Super Kaiju Binge. For really special ones, like Godzilla vs. Gigan is one of Ryan's favorite Godzilla movies, so I say, I'll let him have that. Saber Godzilla vs. Hedorah, that's one of Trevor's favorites as well, so I'll let him have that. And for some reason, Shawnee Boy is really, really, really... And I'll have Kaiju Network join me for the Japanese cut. And Shawnee Boy, for some reason, really fucking wants to do Godzilla's Revenge. And I will, of course, be watching the movies from now on the Criterion discs. Oh my god, I proudly fucking display this goddamn thing. This is and like what Ryan said, this is a lot bigger than I thought it would be. I thought it would just be like a standard DVD size, but it would be like super thick, like this thick. But no, it's a full on book. I haven't read any of these articles yet. There's a few articles by Steve Reifel and Gachishevsky in this. Yeah, I'm definitely excited to crack this open. And from when I finish the Showa Godzilla series, I might do this just Showa the rest of the Gamera movies. Just to get all of those movies out in one season. I know I have a couple. I have two, actually. I have Space Amoeba and I have War of the Gargantuas left to talk about for just standalone Toho monster movies. But then I have the American movies that I have left and the Heisei Godzilla series and the rest of the Godzilla series. So, and I will officially in 2021 be getting into the Ultraman franchise, starting with me and Ryan reviewing the original Ultra Q show, because I decided I am going to watch that series and I'm going to finish it and I am going to review it. And then I will review the Ultraman franchise. Yeah, I'm really excited about that. Hopefully I can get Daikaiju Spacezilla to join me for the original Ultraman for that review. So yeah, I have a lot of stuff planned for 2021 in terms of YouTube, and obviously in my personal life, I'm going to be a father. And if my wife ever sees this, you damn right I'm going to try to make my son into a Godzilla and Ultraman fan. I also got a very special gift for Christmas from one of my coworkers. He's the one who bought me the Ultra Q set. But he also bought me this, a Funko Pop of Father of Ultra, who made his first debut appearance in Ultraman Ace in 1973. No, 4. Yeah, I think it was 4. And he said it was symbolic because I'm going to be a father. Roman's reviews of G movies. Well, when he gets to be of age, I'll let him start his own YouTube channel and he can review Godzilla movies. But yeah, he gave me this and he said it was symbolic because it's Father of Ultra. I'm going to be a father. And not going to lie, that almost brought me to tears. So I treasure this fucking thing. And hopefully, like, if I start doing more sophisticated reviews, Father of Ultra becomes my online personality avatar. Yeah, I'll cherish this thing. So, to reiterate, in terms of YouTube plans, there's going to be some roundup ranking and extra reviews for previous franchises that I've done. I'm going to talk about some new franchises, Ip Man and Karate Kid. Finish up the Tremors series and rank that. Watch Camp Cretaceous and rank the Jurassic Park movies. And check out Karate Kid and Ip Man. I think I already said that. And resume Super Kaiju binge. Not exactly sure when. I think it's going to be soon. Because now that I have the Criterion Godzilla collection, I want to see how these movies look on Blu-ray. So, and also, I may as well just wrap it up here. Thank you all for watching. Post your comments down below. Let me know what you think. That'll be the end of this 2020 year-end review video. 2020 was a giant mixed bag for me. The first half of it was bad, but the second half of it really wasn't bad at all. And I had a very good Christmas. Certainly a lot better than last year. Well, hopefully the stimulus check comes today, so I can go on Amazon tonight. Yes, I hope you all have a happy new year. Even though I'll see you in a couple hours when I review the Terminator or rank the Terminator series. Trev, hope you're out there. Yeah, look forward to all these projects that I have coming towards you guys. And as always, go out, watch some movies, spend time with your family, watch Godzilla movies, watch Ultraman shows. Great. Thanks, Ryan. And as always, go out and be happy, and I will see you guys in the next video in about 3 hours.